West side moon hung low over butcher shop signs. A wolf moved quiet through the elevated lines. Not fur, not fangs, just a coat cut clean. And eyes like alleys where the sirens lean. They call him wolf when the rent got mean. Raised by brick walls and a broken vending machine. His mother scrubbed floors in a downtown tower. Came home with pain in her hands every hour. He watched rich men laugh through the lobby glass. Saw marble shine while the poor walked past. So he sharpened his mind on a rusted stoop. Learned every shortcut, every rumor, every loop. By 17, he could sell you tomorrow. Wrap it in hope, then finance your sorrow. Corner boys followed his quiet command. Not from loud threats, but the weight in his hand. He never barked, never begged for a crown. Just circled the block till the weak sat down. Old Miss Clara from the third floor hall said a wolf still bleeds when the winter calls. He smiled like wisdom was a foreign tongue, but the line stayed buried where his ribs were young. Wolf of the west side running through smoke. Gold in the smile, but the spirit half broke. Howl at the skyline, high from the mirror. The high he climbed, the shadow got nearer. Wolf of the west side, teeth made of pride. Every cold victory left something inside. Street lights witness what the daylight denies. A man can look feared and still fear his own eyes. He flipped pawn tickets in the storefront plans. Turned favors to debts with invisible hands. A barber owed rent, so Wolf bought the lease. Then raised the price while he preached about peace. A cousin needed help with a case downtown. Wolf lent them cash, then wore him like a crown. He said family first with a ledger in reach. Making love sound holy while he taxed every breach. The block called him genius, the papers called rise. A self-made legend in a tailor disguise. But night knows details, the headlines skip like the trimmer that lived on his lower lip. He kept hearing Clara's voice through the vents, saying power without mercy is money badly spent. One March evening, snow turned to rain. He saw a little boy sleeping near the train. Same thin coat, same jaw held tight. Same hungry stare he had carried through night. For once the city did not cheer his name, it held up a mirror with a child in the frame. For the west side running through smoke. Gold in the smile, but the spirit half broke. Howl at the skyline, high from the mirror. The higher he climbed, the shadow got nearer. Wolf for the west side, teeth made of pride. Every cold victory left something inside. Street lights witness what the daylight denies. A man can look feared and still fear his own eyes. The boy was Nico, 12, sharp as a tack. Mother gone quiet, father never came back. Wolf bought him food with a handful of rings. Then heard himself saying familiar things. Stay close, learn fast, never ask twice. The same cold gospel, the same old ice. Nico looked up and said, Mister, you kind? Wolf felt that question, tear seams in his mind. Kind was a door he had bricked up years. Behind it were bills, small rooms and tears. He thought of each tenant pushed out by his climb. Each promise he priced, each mercy declined. That week he opened the vacant south floor. Gave Clara the keys to a tutoring door. Barber kept lease, cousin kept name. Wolf took the hit and swallowed the shame. Men call him soft from the curbside crowd, but wolves hear more when they stop being loud. He learned the pack is not owned, it is fed. And fear makes a mansion feel colder than bread. Some wolves hunt coins, some wolves hunt sleep. Some guard the lambs they were taught to keep. Some bare their teeth at the ghost of the past. Then learn real strength does not need to last. Now outside night still glitter and bite. But what folks slower on the train track light? No Satan the papers, no halo to wear. Just a man repairing what he broke in the air. If you hear a howl when the street gets wide, it might be mercy from the wolf on the west side. West side, west side, west side, west side, west side, west side, west side,
From a rooftop where the cold winds turn, I watch blocks dim and old bridges burn. Wings spread wide over sirens and steam. A vulture sees what ground calls a dream. They name me Crowley, though I never wore black. Just a thrift store coat and a lunchroom sack. I grew on the edge where the factory side, where hope came cheap, rent came high. My window faced alleys, my ear caught deals. Heart learned rhythm from bus stop wheels. Old folks said keep your vision clean. Predators smile when the grass gets lean. But hunger is clever, it can dress like ambition. Turn a good kid sharp with poor man's mission. I learned to read faces like papers in rain. Who carry fresh fear, who carried old pain. I saw a landlord circling after job cuts landed. Saw lenders shake hands while the whole block stranded. The city called it business, called it marketing skill. But from up high it looked like a feast on a hill. So I climbed 5 escapes just to study the scene. A wing witness over gasoline sheen. No halo, no sermon, no saint frame. Just a bird's eye view of the prophets from shame. A vulture's viewpoint, high over dust, where gold turns green and promises rust. I see who eats when the weak ones fall. I see whose shadow gets blamed by all. A vulture's viewpoint, circling truth over cracked old roofs and a stolen youth. Look from above past noise and crowd. Quiet crime start looking loud. Yeah, there was Mr. Veil with a silk blue tie. Bought broken buildings when the heat ran dry. He said I revived what the lazy let rot, then priced every widow right out of her cot. He smiled by murals of neighborhood kings, while notices fluttered like wounded wings. Kids on a stoop watch movers arrive, learning how loss keeps a city alive. I followed his car from the roofline west, past a private school with a bronze clean crest. Inside, his son gave a speech about grace, while fathers in work boots lost their place. That's when I knew vultures don't just fly. Some wear cufflinks, polish a lie, but the bird gets blamed for what men leave dead, for standing near ruins where the greedy got fed. I wrote that down in a notebook crease, trying to turn cold sight into peace. Snare in my skull hit dusty and slow, like truth on vinyl from a basement below. Vulture's viewpoint, high over dust, where gold turns green and promises rust. I see who eats when the weak ones fall. I see whose shadow gets blamed by all. A vulture's viewpoint, circling truth over cracked old roofs and a stolen youth. Look from above past noise and crowd. Quiet crime start looking loud. Yeah. One night I found Val alone by the gate. No driver, no grin, just a man in his weight. His empire cracked from a partner's death. Cash went missing, reputation left. He looked at the skyline like it owed him a prayer, like loss was illegal when it touched his chair. I wanted to laugh, wanted thunder and rhyme, wanted karma to dance on a rich man's dime. But then I saw fear with no costume attached. Same human tremor, same soul half scratched. He said, kid, you watching? I said, always been. From the roof, from the curb, from the place you don't grin. He said, you think I'm evil? I said, you chose to call people weeds when they look like rose. But even a wolf can choke on his teeth. Even a tower can rot underneath. He lowered his eyes, not saved, not clean, just smaller than power had made him seem. I walked off knowing revenge ain't bread, and judgment without mercy turns the judge half dead. From above, every circle looks planned, but wings still shake in the weather's hand. Some feed on scraps, some feed on fear. Some learn to see before they disappear. Now I stand on the roof when the dawn turns pale, watching smoke write names on every rail. Not here to feast, not here to boast, just counting the living where the city sees ghosts. A vulture's viewpoint ain't hunger alone, it is sight from the sky over bone and stone. If truth has wings, let it cut through the cloud and make the silent crime speak loud. Like it knows my name. One bulb flickers over dust and blame. No footsteps behind me, no knife in sight. Just a quiet shadow eating holes in the light. Marcus kept a room on the 5th floor side where the window faced bricks and dreams got fried. He woke every morning to the same gray tone. Phone full of numbers, still felt alone. The city moved loud, but his chest moved mute. Tie clipped tight, worn out boots. He sold insurance by day with a practiced grin, while something unseen kept moving in. It never screamed, never kicked down doors, just left cold thoughts on the kitchen floor. It said, you ain't chosen, you ain't built to last. Sounded like proof when it borrowed from the past. He had a notebook full of plans and ink, but fear spilled coffee on the way he would think. Every chance came knocking with a white glove. He stared through the peephole and called it love. Some thieves wear silence and stand behind. Marcus learned that warning inside every crowd. The silent antagonist don't show no face. It walks in the pause and it sleeps in your place. No crown, no gun, no dramatic twist. Just a cold whisper with a permanent fist. The silent antagonist, quiet and close, turns bright young hearts into houses for ghosts. Name it, face it, drag it to light, or it runs your life from the edge of the night. Downstairs lived Lena with a camera and poems, taking street portraits of people without homes. She saw Marcus pass with his shoulders like stone. Said, brother, you carry a war on your own. He brushed it off with a corporate laugh, like pain was a stain you could hide in a bath. She said, I know that look from my father's eyes. A man can drown dry when he lives in disguise. She showed him a photo of a closed down shop, sign half fallen but the colors won't stop. See this? She said, that's survival in frame. A thing could be broken and still keep its name. That line hit deeper than he wanted to show, so he nodded small and prepared to go. But silence got jealous and tightened the chain. Told him mercy was weakness and hope was a game. That night he sat by the radiator hiss, thinking how many years got buried like this. Outside, kids laugh through the sirens' complaint, like fat painting what despair said it ain't. The silent antagonist don't show no face. It walks in the pause and it sleeps in your place. No crown, no gun, no dramatic twist. Just a cold whisper with a permanent fist. The silent antagonist, quiet and close, turns bright young hearts into houses for ghosts. Name it, face it, drag it to light, or it runs your life from the edge of the night. When it came sharp with a rent notice read, boss cut his hours, fear climbed into bed. Marcus walked blocks under billboards of gold, selling bright futures to the tired and cold. He stopped at a diner where old men debate politics, boxing, bad luck and fate. One named Ellis with a scar on his chin said most wars start when nobody looks in. You wait for a villain with boots and a mask, but the hardest enemy sits quiet in the task. It edits your courage, it laughs at your plan, then blames the world when you don't even stand. Marcus looked down at his trembling hand, saw the map of a boy who forgot he was a man. He went home slow, opened every drawer, found a notebook untouched since the year before. Page 1 read, build a school for the block, teach kids money, art, language and stock. He cried once, not soft, not loud, like rain breaking loose from a concrete cloud. Then he wrote till dawn with the heat turned low. First real punch at the shadow below. Some enemies shout, some enemies shine. Some sign your name on a dotted line, but the worst one waits where the room goes still, feeding on doubt, calling surrender where. Some enemies shout, some enemies shine. Some sign your name on a dotted line, but the worst one waits where the room goes still, feeding on doubt, calling surrender where. Now Marcus walks with his spine less bent, still broke some days, but his fear pays rent. He knows that shadow may visit again, so he keeps light close with a notebook and pen. The hallway hums, but it lost that bite. He named the dog and survived the night.
lights blink over cracked stone. I breathe slow, let the cold talk through bone. Smoke curls up, writing signs in the stairwell. Every gray ribbon got a lesson it can't spell. I was young with a sirens taught the clock to scream. With a moon wore bruise and the block had dreams. Corner store prophets kept truth in the paper cups. A kid never fold when the winter try to break you up. Mama counted coins by the stove with a quiet face. Dad left footprints nobody could trace. I learned mathematics from rent and hunger, subtracting sleep while the thunder got younger. Old heads played chess on a milk crate throne. Kings with no crowns but a wisdom well known. They said pride is a blade with your name on the handle. Hold it wrong once, watch your whole life dismantle. I saw friends chase shine through a broken glass door. Found gold in the gutter, then wanted some more. Smoke from the train tracks drifted over the roofs like the city was burning, but hiding the proof. I kept a notebook under my coat in the rain. Wrote bars with a pulse and a pocket full of pain. Every line was a ladder out the basement air. Every rhyme was a prayer when nobody cared. Wisdom in the smoke, let it rise, let it speak. Ash on my jacket, truth under my feet. I came from the cold where the brave don't boast. Found light in the dark, found wisdom in the smoke. Wisdom in the smoke, every scar got a voice. Every wrong turn taught me how to make a choice. I walk with ghosts, but I never lose hope. Head high through the fog, chasing wisdom in soul. At 16, I knew silence could weigh like debt. Knew a handshake might come with a hidden threat. Knew the loudest man in the room often feared his mind. So I listened to the quiet, left the noise behind. There was Kenny with the leather coat, quick with jokes. Kept laughing at the world while his spirit broke. He said dreams cost extra when your zip code's cursed. And he vanished in winter like a bad verse. I still hear him when the bass drum kicks. When the snare cracks hard like city bricks. That's why I never rap like I got nothing to lose. I got names in my chest, I got debts to the truth. The smoke ain't glamour, it's memory and motion. A gray little ocean from years of erosion. It taught me how heat turns pressure into form. How a heart gets forged in a long hard storm. I don't praise the struggle, I survived it, that's different. Pain ain't a crown but it sharpens your vision. So I move through the avenue measuring breath. Trying to build from ruins, trying to argue with death. Wisdom in the smoke, let it rise, let it speak. Ash on my jacket, truth under my feet. I came from the cold where the brave don't boast. Found light in the dark, found wisdom in the smoke. Wisdom in the smoke, every scar got a voice. Every wrong turn taught me how to make a choice. I walk with ghosts, but I never lose hope. Head high through the fog, chasing wisdom in the smoke. Now the kid in the mirror got lines in a stare. Silver in the beard, still a flame in the air. I teach young bloods that revenge is a chain. You swing it at another, but you carry the pain. Money comes fast when the hunger gets loud, but peace moves quiet through a disciplined crowd. Read every contract, trust actions, not charm. Keep your circle small when the weather turns harm. If love finds you, guard it from ego and fear. If loss finds you, let the wound make you clear. The block made philosophers out of broken men, writing dissertations on a bus stop bench. No fancy robes, just hoodies and smoke. No marble halls, just a cracked sidewalk quote. I learned that wisdom ain't clean, ain't soft, ain't sweet. It's dirt on your hands and frost on your feet. It's saying no when the easy door opens. It's speaking truth when the whole room's frozen. So when the night exhales and the rooftops choke, I read the sky like scripture and smoke. Let the beat fade slow, let the street lights lean. I keep walking through the ash of what I've seen. Not a saint, not a villain, just a man with a cold, carrying smoke-borne wisdom down a long black road. Yeah, I found my life in the shoebox of negatives. Dust on the lid, old light in the evidence. Click one flash, let the memory claim. Every lost second coming back frame by frame. First frame, mama by the window with a tired smile. Curtains half open, bills stacked in a pile. Sun hit her cheek like a blessing from the block. While the kitchen clock argue with the landlord's knock. Second frame pops in a coat by the station. One hand waving, one hand hiding frustration. He said work was a road with a bend at the end, but some roads take fathers and return them as men. Third frame, me with a book bag, shoes too thin, trying to make the school bell forgive my skin. Teacher wrote potential in a red ink cage, like a bird can grow wings from a graded page. Fourth frame, corner kids posted by the gate, trading jokes with hunger, making armor out of fate. Some chased quick paper, some chased applause, some disappeared inside the city's open jaws. I kept a cheap camera from a thrift store shelf, taking pictures of the world just to study myself. Every shutter was a sermon, every blur had a name. Truth walks slow when it moves frame by frame.
Frame by frame, I remember the light. Broken little pictures from the edge of the night. Every scar got focus, every tear got aim. I learned how to live, watching life frame by frame. Frame by frame, let the real unwind. Street full of lessons in the back of my mind. If the world moves fast and the truth feels strange, hold your soul steady, see it frame by frame.
Next frame, Malik on a rooftop at noon, talking revolution to the face of the moon. He said books are keys if the locks stay fair, but knowledge still knocks when nobody there. He taught me words could be tools, not chains, could build new doors out of old cold pains. We revolving on the steps, phenomenal by the train, mixed wisdom with rhythm while dodging the rain. Next frame, Nina with braids and a paint stained sleeve, drawing black stars on a wall that refused to believe. She said art is a mirror with a fist inside, a soft kind of wall where the berry survived. She painted grandmothers as queens in gold, little boys as sons that the streets couldn't hold. Police rolled past, slow as a threat, but her brush stayed brave and her jaw stayed set. I snapped that moment, but the photo came blurred, like the future didn't want to be captured in words. Still I kept that print in the back of my drawer, proof that beauty can breathe where fear keeps score.
Yeah, frame by frame, I remember the light. Broken little pictures from the edge of the night. Every scar got focus, every tear got aim. I learned how to live, watching life frame by frame. Frame by frame, let the real unwind. Street full of lessons in the back of my mind. If the world moves fast and the truth feels strange, hold your soul steady, see it frame by frame.
Hey, came the frame I avoided for years, a hospital hallway washed clean with tears. Uncle Ray in a chair, eyes fixed on the floor, cancer in his bones, but his spirit wanted more. He said, nephew, don't let rage hide at your sight. A crooked world can still teach you right. Don't worship the struggle, don't romance the pain, but don't waste the lesson when it knocks in the rain. His hand felt light like a bird in retreat. Machines kept rhythm with the hush of his feet. I took no picture, just held that scene. Some frames live deeper when the lens stays clean. After he passed, I walked home through snow, watching headlights stitch gold into the road. I understood then what the old folks meant. Life ain't the camera, it's the way time is spent. You can crop out shame, but the shadow remains. You can zoom on joy, still inherit the stains. So I face every shot, every loss, every flame, and develop my piece, frame by frame.
Some memories fade, some sharpen with age. Some write whole scriptures on a torn out page. Some teach you mercy, some teach you range. Some break you open so the soul can change. Some memories fade, some sharpen with age. Some write whole scriptures on a torn out page. Some teach you mercy, some teach you range. Some break you open so the soul can change.
I keep that shoebox high on the shelf, not as a shrine but a map of myself. Click wine, flash, let the past speak plain. I became what I saw, frame by frame, frame by frame.
Midnight at the payphone, rain on the glass. Nickel in my palm like a piece of the past. Receive a cold, city breathing in chrome. One ring from Mercy, 2 blocks from home. Darius stood where the corner light blinked. Coat soaked heavy, too wide to think. The avenue hissed with a bus line side. Steam from the sewer climbing into the sky. Blood on his cuff from a fight he escaped. not his blood, not a story he shaped. His cousin Tone had run with the wrong crew, chasing fast respect like the rent never due. Darius saw the trap before Tone saw the teeth. Warning sound weak when pride sits beneath. Sirens wrote circles around Lennox and Ninth. Night held breath like it knew the next line. He dialed Aunt May with a trembling thumb. 3 numbers wrong, then his whole hand numb. In the booth, old flies curled off the wall. The cord twisted like a question in chains. Her voice broke through static and rain. She said, "Baby, where's home?" He stared at the street, red lights smeared under taxi wheels. He wanted to lie, make the pain arrive slow, but truth kicked the door with nowhere to go. Midnight at the payphone, truth on the wire. Cold little booth with a heart full of fire. Every ring echoes where the lost boys roam, calling for grace from a city of stone. Midnight at the payphone, rain in the tone. Hear the whole block when you stand there alone. One call can break you, one call can save. One voice can pull you back from the grave. Aunt May didn't scream, just breathed real thin, like heaven in trouble. Both walked right in. Darius said he's alive, but trouble got close. Move quick before the street makes a ghost. She said, bring him to the church by the tracks. No speeches, no judgment, just bring my boy back. He hung up slow while the booth light buzzed, thinking how love gets tested by blood. Tone was 3 blocks east in the basement room, busted lip smile and a heart full of fumes. He said, cuz, preach, I already know. But his eyes kept jumping at every car slow. Darius said the street forgets you in the wild. They love you Friday, mourn you by dawn. Spray your nickname, then the game moves on. Tone tried to laugh, but the laugh came cracked like a record with truth under the track. Outside rain tap, codes on the rail. Courage got priced at the cost of jail. Midnight at the payphone, truth on the wire. Cold little booth with a heart full of fire. Every ring echoes where the lost boys roam, calling for grace from a city of stone. Midnight at the payphone, rain in the tone. Hear the whole block when you stand there alone. One call can break you, one call can save. One voice can pull you back from the grave. They walk through alleys where murals look tired, saints on brick walls, crowns made of wire. Patrol car roll with a slow sharp glide. Both boys turn calm with the storm inside. At the church steps, Aunt May held black shade, face line deep by the debt she had paid. She pulled Tone close, then struck his chest, not hard with hate, just enough for his breath. She said, your mom ain't buried for you to be foolish. Your name ain't a coin for the block to keep using. You think being feared makes you groan in the mirror, but a scared little boy can make death come nearer. Tone dropped his eyes, rain off his chin. First time pride, didn't know how to win. Darius looked back toward the payphone glow, a tiny square light where cold winds blow. Tomorrow would ask more than regret. New routes, new rules, unpaid old debt. That night, 3 shadows moved out of the storm. Not healed, not safe, but still warm. Some calls bring bills, some calls bring names. Some drag truth through a hallway of flames. Some calls say run, some calls say stay. Midnight faded to a bruised blue dawn. The payphone watched as the buses moved on. Darius kept walking with Tone at his side. 2 wet silhouettes refusing to hide. No halos, no quiet, no clean movie in. Just family and pavement learning to bend. Receiver still swinging, rain turning to foam. A prayer left hanging 2 blocks from home.
Rain writes circles on the midnight road. A bus pulls off with a suitcase sold. Headlights cut through the city's black fabric, and I see tears drying slow on the tarmac. Yeah. Yo. She left at dawn with a ticket in a sleeve. One bag full of winter, one heart trying to breathe. Mama on the porch in a robe holding faith, waving like a lighthouse at a runaway train. Her brother said call when the wheels touch ground, but his voice cracked low, so he swallowed the sound. The block watched quiet from the corner store glass. Everybody knows when a young dream passed. She had books in the zipper, poems in the seams, a scholarship letter folded next to broken dreams. City bus coughing like an old tired lung while the radio preached what the choir once sung. She was chasing the future, past factory smoke, past landlords, bad news and family jokes. Believing ain't simple when your roots got weight, when love is a gate and ambition is fate. So the rain came down like a crowd in grief on oil-stained pavement and autumn leaves. Her sneakers got wet, but she stood real still, like courage stays quiet when it signs the bill. Tears on the tarmac shine under light. Every goodbye got a shadow in flight. We move through pain with a map made of scars, counting lost names in the glow of cars. Tears on the tarmac, dreams in the rain, love in the rear view, hope in the lane. If the road feels cold and the sky falls hard, keep your soul awake, keep your heart on guard. Across town, a father drove a cab through the storm. Night shift blues in a coffee-stained uniform. He had photos on the dash, 3 kids in a frame, each smile like a candle in a broke man's name. He picked up a veteran near Terminal B, eyes full of wars that the news won't see. The old man says, son, every road got ghosts. Some ride shotguns, some vanish like smoke. They pass by murals of leaders and saints, paint peeling slow under weather and complaints. A kid sold roses by the curbside drain, red petals bending in the gasoline rain. The driver thought back to the woman he missed, how pride built the wall where he once built a kiss. He never said sorry, just worked overtime, hoping money could speak in a better rhyme. At the airport curb, brakes cried sharp, the meter stopped but not the ache in his heart. He saw his daughter through the terminal glass, same eyes as her mother, same walk from the past. Tears on the tarmac shine under light. Every goodbye got a shadow in flight. We move through pain with a map made of scars, counting lost names in the glow of cars. Tears on the tarmac, dreams in the rain, love in the rear view, hope in the lane. If the road feels cold and the sky falls hard, keep your soul awake, keep your heart on guard. He stepped out slow with the rain on his cap, held a suitcase handle, then handed it back. She said, Daddy, I'm scared. He said, me too. But fear ain't a prison when the door is you. He gave her a notebook with a warm blue cover, pages from a man still learning how to love her. Inside was a letter he wrote but never sent, every line bent under years he spent. It said, I was silent when you needed sound. I was present in body but rarely around. I thought bread on the table could cover the lack, but a meal ain't a hug and it can't talk back. I watched you grow brilliant in rooms I ignored. Now your courage is knocking on another door. Take my mistakes, make a lantern from them. Let mercy be still when the road gets grim. She hugged them hard where the taxis rolled. 2 generations in the terminal cold. No choir, no trumpet, no movie scene, just rain on asphalt and a love wash clean. Some tears fall down, some rise as steam. Some bless the ground where we bury a dream. Some mark the place where the old self died. Some water the wings we were scared to try. Boarding call echoed, the morning turned pale. She walked to the gate like a handwritten tale. He stood by the curb till the plane light spark, reading tears on the tarmac like stars in the dark.
The empty revolver sat wrapped in a rag, cold as old winter in a brown paper bag. 6 hollow chambers, no thunder inside, just dust, rust, and a story taught to hide.
Ezra found it where the shoeboxes sleep. Top shelf secret stack quiet and deep. Rain tap codes on the fire escape rail, while the hallway smelled like bleach and stale mail. His uncle once carried it under his coat. A street corner myth with a cracked leather throat. Folks said he was fearless, sharp with a grin, but fear wears perfume when it walks like sin. Ezra held still and expected a spell, some power to rise from that nickel-plated shell. But the cylinder turned with a tired little click, like time clearing his throat in a room full of brick. No bullets, no magic, no crown, no command, just a useless piece of weight in a young man's hand. He thought of the stories the block loved to trade, how legends get polished while the truth gets frayed. A name on a wall, a candle half burned, a mother still waiting for a son to return. Ezra slipped the metal back under his sleeve, not to become brave, but because he couldn't leave. Empty revolver, heavy as regret. 6 quiet chambers that never forget. No fire, no glory, no hero to claim. Just echoes and iron and a family name. Empty revolver, lesson in chrome. What looks like power can bury a home. Spin it in silence, hear the truth load. Peace is the weapon when you walk that road. He took it to June, who repaired old clocks. A woman with wisdom and 3 silver locks. Her shop smelled like oil, warm tea and brass, ticking like ghosts from a century past. She knew that revolver before he could speak. Saw the family curse in the bend of his cheek. Said your uncle brought this when his hand still shook, before the papers made him bigger than he looked. He wanted revenge for a friend laid low, but the chamber was empty and that saved his soul. He cried in his chair till the street lights died, then worked 12 years with the storm inside. Ezra looked down, felt the myth come apart like cheap gold paint flaking off a heart. June said a weapon with nothing to spit can still shoot pride if you worship it. Still don't make manhood, fear don't make law. A hard face can hide every wound that it saw. Empty revolver, heavy as regret. 6 quiet chambers that never forget. No fire, no glory, no hero to claim. Just echoes and iron and a family name. Empty revolver, lesson in chrome. What looks like power can bury a home. Spin it in silence, hear the truth load. Peace is the weapon when you walk that road. That night Ezra walked past the dice game glow, past boys selling courage they didn't yet know. One called him over, said, what you got there? He felt the old hunger rise into the air. For one cracked second, he saw every route. Respect turning poison once it stepped out. He saw Uncle Ray on a mural in rain, gold halo painted over years of pain. He saw his mother counting bills by the sink, saw a future get smaller each time he didn't think. Then the empty revolver weighed less than a lie, less than the urge to be feared before he could fly. He said nothing worth dying for in my palm. Kept walking slow with a dangerous calm. At the river he opened the cylinder wide. Moonlight fell through where the bullets once lied. He carried it home, took it straight to June, who locked it in glass by the broken clock moon. A label below read, Crown Rahan learned, a relic of fire that refused to burn. Some inherit jewels, some inherit debt, some inherit silence nobody is met. Some inherit anger dressed up as pride. Some break the chain by stepping aside. Now Ezra teaches kids in the basement gym how to write sharp lines when the odds look grim. He says a trigger ain't courage, a threat ain't control. The loudest still can still have no soul. The empty revolver stays sleeping in glass, a mirror for futures that almost went past. 6 hollow chambers, no thunder to load, just a quiet new law for the long hard road.